Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're totally exhausted by the endless noise about artificial intelligence and you want to know how to actually build a real AI income stream without needing to code, without a massive budget, and without already having an audience, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're skipping the hype completely. Instead, we're going to focus on a highly practical 30-day idea-to-income blueprint. Think of this as a step-by-step operating system designed to just get you results. Right off the bat, there's a core rule we need to keep in mind for this entire blueprint. It goes like this. AI is leverage, not a lottery ticket. It multiplies whatever you already understand. It doesn't replace the work of finding a real customer with a real problem. You see, the secret to success in 2026 isn't finding some magic secret prompt. No way. It's about combining the sheer speed of AI with actual grounded business fundamentals. At the end of the day, you still need to solve real problems for real people. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how much the landscape has shifted in just 2 years. Just look at the difference here. 2 years ago, doing an AI side hustle meant vague offers and delivering kind of half-finished work because, well, you couldn't afford a team. But in 2026, the threshold of AI capabilities has crossed a massive line. One person, working entirely alone, can now draft full client proposals, edit long-form videos, and run entire customer support flows. You can literally do the work of a small team, all by yourself. It's wild. Okay, so here's our visual roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to break down this somewhat intimidating 30-day process into logical, bite-sized pieces. We'll start with the 2026 opportunity, look at the 4 income models, walk through validating and building, then selling and scaling, and finally wrap up with a 30-day reality check. Let's jump straight into section 1. The 2026 AI opportunity, and why the timing actually matters this year. So, the barrier to entry for building a business has dropped dramatically this year. But remember, the bar for actually being useful, that remains exactly the same. So why does timing matter so much right now? Well, look at this number, $240 billion. Just wrap your head around that for a second. That is the staggering amount of capital investors poured into AI companies in just the first quarter of 2026 alone. Now, why do we care? Because that money doesn't just sit at the top building giant corporate models. It trickles down. It funds the tools, the platforms, and the massive demand that ordinary people like you and me can tap into right now. The opportunity is huge, and building a track record today means you'll have reviews and case studies before the market gets fully crowded. All right, let's dive into section 2, 4 AI income models. You've got to pick the lane that fits you before you build anything. Look, the absolute biggest mistake beginners make is trying to do everything at once. You just end up with nothing. You need to pick your lane. Let's compare the 4 main paths you can take. First up, the service model, things like AI-assisted writing or video editing. This is for sure the fastest way to make your first dollar, though your income is capped by the hours in your day. Second, we have the automation or agency model, where you build chatbots or workflows. This offers the absolute highest income ceiling because you can charge recurring monthly retainers. Third is the digital product model. Think ebooks or templates sold on platforms like Etsy or Gumroad. It's a bit slower to build momentum, but it's largely passive. And finally, platform-based work, where AI companies pay you directly to train their models. It requires zero portfolio to start, but the pay is very linear. You just need to choose the one that matches your current skills and personality right now. Okay, section 3, validate and build foundation. This covers weeks 1 and 2 of execution. Now that you've got your lane, let's talk actual execution, because strategy always precedes software. We're turning these abstract concepts into a practical 30-day timeline. Week 1 is all about validating your idea and setting up your tools. Week 2 is building your first offer. Week 3 is finding your first customers, and week 4 is scaling the whole system. So, the absolutely crucial point in week 1 is what the playbook calls the 5-person test. Listen closely here. Before you open a single AI tool, you need to find 5 real people who already have the problem you want to solve and who are already paying to solve it somehow. A quick, direct message asking someone how they handle a problem is worth way more than hours of brainstorming in your room. Please do not skip this step. If you can't find 5 people, you don't have a niche yet. You just have a guess. Once you've validated that, it's time to set up your tools. And you don't need 20 tools that you barely know how to use. You need a lean stack. ChatGPT or Claude for your strategy and writing, Canva for your visuals, 11 Labs or Murph for studio-grade voiceovers. Now, if you chose the agency model, you'll want N8N, Make, or Zapier for automations. Just think of these as the digital glue that connects your apps together. And then CapCut for video editing. Just pick a few of these and go really deep. Your goal is to get good enough at one tool to deliver a finished result. not to become a casual user of a dozen different things. And this brilliantly illustrates what you should be doing in week 2. Your focus shifts entirely to building proof, not some fancy pitch deck. Strangers need to see what they're actually buying. If you're doing a service, create 3 to 5 portfolio samples in the exact style you plan to sell. If you're doing the agency model, do 1 free workflow automation for a local business to use as a live case study. And, crucially, really importantly here, package everything as a fixed deliverable. Never use a vague, open-ended hourly rate. Let's make this highly concrete, right? We're talking real numbers here. If you package your offer correctly, these are the realistic price anchors for 2026. A recurring monthly retainer to maintain and optimize automations for a business can realistically pull in $1,000 to $5,000 a month. That is where the real compounding income lives. On the flip side, if you're doing simple freelance deliverables like AI-assisted voiceovers, you can easily charge $50 to $200 per project on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. All right, moving into Section 4, Sell and Scale Execution. Let's look at weeks 3 and 4. This is where we shift from building the product to actually finding clients and systemizing the work. In week 3, you need your first 3 customers. And honestly, they usually come from your existing network or direct outreach. The playbook gives us a beautifully low-friction outreach formula. Step 1, identify the problem in 1 specific sentence. Step 2, present the fix. What exactly are you going to build? Step 3, offer a low-risk first step, like a free sample or just a short 10-minute call, rather than asking for a huge contract up front. Remember, your goal this week is not a closed sale. Your goal is simply to send 10 messages to start 1 real conversation. Also in week 3, you need a way for people to actually find you. You do this through a visibility engine. Now, you don't need to be everywhere making content all day. Instead, you record or write 1 long piece of content, like a voice note or a story about a client win. Then you use AI to summarize and rewrite that into platform-specific posts for TikTok, Instagram, and Shorts for the entire week. I can't stress this enough. Consistency beats virality every single time. Once you hit week 4, you've done the work manually, and it's time to scale. But scaling safely is critical. Start by automating tasks with clear right answers, like client onboarding or payment reminders. The golden rule here? Always use a human in the loop for the first 2 weeks of any new automation. Check 10 to 20 outputs in a draft folder before you let the AI run wild. And actually, let me emphasize this. Never, ever automate a process you don't fully understand yourself. Which brings us to Section 5, the 30-day reality check. Time for the scorecard. Because, let's be real, day 30 isn't some finish line where you retire to a private island. It's an honest checkpoint. Let's ground ourselves with some realistic financial benchmarks. In month 1, most beginners land 1 to 3 paying clients and make somewhere between $200 and $1,000. By month 3, once you have a repeatable process and some good testimonials, pulling in $1,000 to $3,000 a month is a totally realistic, non-hype target. This isn't about getting rich overnight, guys. It's about building a real, sustainable income stream that empowers you. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative question straight from the Playbook scorecard. At the end of these 30 days, how many real conversations did you start? Everything you need to succeed is literally right in front of you. The tools are just a sign up away, and the demand is out there waiting. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is simply taking action. So let's stop bookmarking ideas, pick your lane, and start your 30-day journey today.